between the visiting Puyallup Vikings and your South Kitsap Wolves. At this time, the South Kitsap basketball program would like to introduce our manager, statisticians, and 7 senior players who are playing in their final regular season home game at South Kitsap. We would also like to take this opportunity to introduce and thank the parents of our seniors for your trust and support. We're going to start off tonight with the manager, Luke Orser. Luke is escorted by his dad, Brad, mom, Eunice, brother, Jake, and girlfriend, Bailey. Luke says, after high school, I plan on going to Olympic College and then transferring to Central Washington University to pursue a degree in education. I played basketball for 3 years, and this has been my first year managing. My favorite high school memory is just growing up with my brothers and playing our hearts out. I've learned to always give your best effort because someone is always watching. My advice to my underclassmen would be to always give 100% no matter the situation. I would like to thank my family, my girlfriend, and all the coaches I have ever had. They were all my mentors, and they were there for me. Now, before we move on to our next person, Luke, someone has something special to ask you. We will take that as a yes, Bailey. Our next senior, stat keeper, Aaliyah Walters. Aaliyah is escorted by her dad, James, mom, Rena, sister, Jamie, and sister, Angel. Aaliyah says, after high school, I plan to get a degree in psychology. I've participated in track and field since 7th grade and danced the traditional hula for 5 years. My favorite high school memory was a bet with Coach Kelso that I could finish the Santa Barbara burger from the Habit. I did. Advice to my underclassmen would be not to worry. If it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes thinking about it. I would like to thank my family, friends, and the amazing coaches. Aaliyah Walters. Next up, stat keeper Haley Hamilton. Haley is escorted by her mom, Carrie Hamilton. Haley says, my plan after high school is to go to college at Northern Arizona University. I've played soccer for 14 years. My favorite high school memory is just spending time with my friends. Advice to my underclassmen is to make the best out of every moment. I would like to thank Coach Callaghan for making me do stats all of high school, Coach Kelso for always giving us a good laugh, and just to thank the coaches for this opportunity. Haley Hamilton. All right, now to our players. Number 3, Donovan Grant. Donovan is escorted by his mother and an entourage. He didn't list any of them, so I had to say something. Donovan says, my plan after high school is to attend Western Washington University. I've played basketball for 8 years. My favorite high school memory was when Coach Levine broke Casey Lynch's ankles. Advice to my underclassmen is to enjoy what time you have left because it goes by fast. I would like to thank my mom, my old coach, Tina, and the coaching staff here at SK. Donovan Grant. Next up, number 4, Jackson Cambridge. Jackson is escorted by his dad, Kim, mom, Casey, and sister, Savannah. Jackson says, my plan after high school is to attend Boise State University. I've played basketball, soccer, football, and baseball over my school years. My favorite high school memory was beating Puyallup sophomore year to make it to the playoffs. Advice I would like to give my underclassmen would be to don't take your time playing, Don't take your time playing for granted, because before you know it, it'll be over and you can't go back. I'd like to thank my mom, dad, sister, Coach Callaghan, Coach Koch, Coach Levine, Coach Kelso, Coach Mackey, Coach Ward, Coach Morton, Coach Maupin, and my teammates. That was a mouthful. Jackson Cambridge. Number 10, Josh Potts. Josh is escorted by his dad, Dale, mom, Dorina, and sister, Ashlyn, and a whole bunch of others that I don't know. After high school, Josh says, I plan to attend either Washington State or Eastern Washington University and major in business and psychology. I played basketball, baseball, and soccer over the years. My favorite high school memory was when one of my teammates jumped out of a window and into a tree while we were at Gonzaga. I bet the coaches didn't know about that. Advice to underclassmen would be take advantage of the time you have now because it will end in the blink of an eye. I would like to thank my coaches, my family, and my friends, but I would like to especially thank my mom and dad for always being there and supporting me. Josh Potts. Next up, number 20, Cutter Pace. Cutter is escorted by his dad, Mike, and mom, Patty, and others. Cutter says, my plan after high school is to attend Central Washington University. Basketball has been my one and only sport for 13 years. My favorite basketball memories will always be crushing Coach Cox's hopes and dreams of every practice with a game of horse. Boy, try to say crushing Coach Cox's hopes 5 times. Thanks a lot, Cutter. My advice to underclassmen is to never give up. I would like to thank all my coaches for helping me grow as a person. Cutter Pace. Number 22, Deontay Ward. He is escorted by his dad, mom, 2 brothers, and others. I am still trying to figure out what I'll do after high school, he says. I played basketball my whole life. My favorite high school memory was sophomore year when we traveled to Coeur d'Alene. Advice to my underclassmen is to let them know that your attitude goes a long way. Showing maturity makes you look like you are a better person. I would like to thank my coaches and my parents for never giving up on me and never letting me give up on myself. They both pushed me to be better at basketball and to be a better person. Deontay Ward. Number 24, Riley Escolta. Riley is escorted by his dad, Roderick, mom, Sandy, and brother, Rio. Riley says, after high school, I plan to attend college. I've played football, basketball, and baseball most of my life. My favorite high school memory is shooting free throws with the boys. My advice to underclassmen would be to take it seriously and enjoy the time while it lasts because time flies. I would like to thank the coaches for teaching me all I know and supporting me throughout my high school career, and I would like to especially thank my family for all of their support. Riley Escolta. And our last senior basketball player, number 42, Mikey Welch. Mike is escorted by his dad, Michael, mom, Amanda, and a few others as well. Mikey says, my plans after high school are to attend Pierce College to play basketball, then transfer to Central Washington University to get a degree in aviation. Over the years, I have played basketball, baseball, swam, and wrestled. My favorite sports memory was spending a week in Idaho with the team. Advice to my underclassmen would be to don't quit. Even if you don't get much playing time, keep going. It'll all be worth it. I'd like to thank my mom, dad, Coach Rick, Coach Washington, Coach Brown, and Coach Core. Mikey Welch. At this time, we'd also like to recognize our senior cheerleaders. Our senior cheerleaders are Bailey Burbank, Alexis Markham, Kaylin Mansfield, Brandon Levine, Ainsley Agee, and Mackenzie Wright. Thank you so much for helping us get into the game, ladies and gentlemen. And those are your seniors. All right, as soon as they clear the floor, we will get started with our starting lineups. And now the lineups for tonight's game. First for the Puyallup Vikings. Number 3, Kobe Campbell. Number 10, Jacob Holcomb. Number 23, Kendall Munson. Number 24, Jaden Ingram. And number 42, Dylan Rhodes. The Vikings are coached by Scott Campbell, Dan Ballmer, Chad Rasmussen, Cliff Owens, and Brian Grout. And now the starting lineup for your South Kitsap Wolves. Number 3, Donovan Grant. Number 10, Josh Potts. Number 20, Cutter Pace. Number 22, Deontay Ward. And number 42, Mikey Webb. The Wolves are coached by Coach John Callaghan, Brian Cox, Vern Levine, and David Kelso. Our officials for tonight's game are from the Peninsula Basketball Officials Association. Our referee tonight, Joe Frank. Our umpire, Mark Knowles, and our umpire, Nat Guzman. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor our country, please join us as the South Kitsap High School Band, under the direction of Mr. Grams, plays our national anthem, and the colors are marched on by the South Kitsap JROTC, commanded by Lieutenant Commander Amanda Barnes, joined by Cadet Lieutenant Commander Sean Canonisado, Cadet Commander Joseph Obinal, and Cadet Master Chief Ayana Patterson. Please march on the colors.
Welcome everyone to South Kitsap High School. It's senior night for SK men's basketball. Tonight the Wolves will be taking on the Puyallup Vikings. I'm Colin Shoquist, a senior here at South, and joining me in the booth, fellow senior Deshaun Keel. So Deshaun, what kind of game should we expect tonight?
It's going to be a very emotional game, like you said, because it's senior night, but it's also going to have that really competitive atmosphere that we're going to see tonight because both teams are fighting for their seeding in the playoffs.
Yeah, last time these two teams played, Puyallup did come out on top, but hopefully the emotions of senior night will be able to propel South to this victory here.
Yeah, and I know the guys are excited to play this game. I've talked to all of them about this game, and most of the seniors are really, really excited to get this game going.
Yeah, right now we currently have a 5-senior team out on the court right now, and it looks like SK will lose that toss though. What are some of the keys to the game tonight?
Rebounding is for sure going to be a main factor in boxing out because, you know, Puyallup does have a lot of tall players on their team, including a 7-footer that is on the bench right now.
Yeah, they also have a couple 6'8" and 6'9" kids. Boxing out is going to be really key. Getting those rebounds, using your body to get them out of the paint.
Yeah, of course. Rebounding is essential to any game, but not just rebounding, but free throws. Those 5 shots that you take from the free throw line could be the difference of winning the game or not.
Yeah, and it looks like SK was able to make a nice defensive stop on that first drive here. Another key to beating this Puyallup team that's been able to put up a lot of points is just going to be slowing them down and making sure that we capitalize on all those turnovers.
Right. We do have some very defensive talented players on our team.
Right now we have Ante and Donovan passing the ball, and just a missed communication there from Donovan Grant to Mikey Welch.
Oh, it seems like South comes out to play man, or is that a zone I'm seeing, Colin?
No, it's looking like a zone. SK does go into zone a lot of the time. Wow, great save by Josh.
Good save, Josh.
Yeah, SK tends to use a zone defense just because it allows their guys to avoid screens and trade off on screens, and it really keeps them spread out over the court.
Yeah, you know, Puyallup running a similar zone almost, like they're playing a 4-1 almost, it looks like, with one man, or a 2-3 actually.
Yeah, I know SK has been pretty good against the man defense this year, so Puyallup must have seen that on tape and decided to go to the zone. They only have 3 seconds to shoot. Josh Potts is going to go for something that does get blocked. And because no shot was able to go up, the ball will go back to the Vikings.
Hey, this is pretty a defensive game, and you know, obviously the South defensive games aren't out of the picture for every game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just a few games ago, South went into overtime in the game, and the final score ended up being in the 30s, which is a very low-scoring game, even for high school. The good thing about that game is we were able to pull out that win in overtime, which really goes to show the mental toughness of these guys.
Right. And, you know, to perform in the playoffs, sometimes those games are going to be like that. And that experience that they have in those games, whether it's close and it's a battle for every quarter, you know, those pay crucial.
Yeah, that overtime win was able to clutch them a playoff berth. And it looks like we have a foul down on the floor. It's going to go to white ball, so South Kitsap does manage to get the ball off that foul.
Well, I am surprised that Puyallup is in a full-court press right now, Colin.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit aggressive right out the gate.
But, hey, maybe that's just the way they play ball, Colin.
Yeah, they are a pretty dominant team, so it does make sense that they come out with such a dominant style of play right from the beginning.
Oh, they broke that press pretty easy.
I am surprised that this game is still 0-0 at this point. Last matchup, Puyallup scored almost 70 points, which is hard to do, especially in high school. And it looks like we have a fast break here. And the refs are going to discuss what the call is.
And I think they're going to call it a shooting foul on Cutter, Cullen. That gives them their first foul of the game and Cullen's first foul.
Yeah, these fouls are going to be crucial.
Yeah, but before it was on the floor, so they will not be shooting free throws.
Just another key to the game is just going to be keeping the fouls down. As soon as you start to get in foul trouble late in the game, it will end up hurting you. And there is the shooting foul, so they will end up going to the line after all.
And that is number 23, Kendall Munson, who is 6'8" and is a junior, shooting 2 right now. Oh, the score, they do not want to score points today, Colin, both teams.
Looks like the student section was able to maybe throw him off a bit.
Yeah, I know our student section is in full capacity right now.
Yeah, and he misses both.
It's going to be a defensive game, Cullen.
Yeah, that's how it's shaping up to be. I was really expecting them to come out here and have a high offense game. Both teams are able to put up a lot of points when they need to. So,
you know, as they always say, Cullen, basketball is a game of runs.
I do think a defensive game does work in SK's favor, though.
Yes, because if they can keep Puyallup from, scoring not as many points as they normally do, they'll be in good shape.
And the other surprising thing about this is those aren't their usual starters. They have 5 seniors in just because of the fact that it's senior night. And the fact that their guys are showing up and playing such good defense really attributes to the depth this roster has.
Right. This roster has beautiful depth.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the keys that helps them later in the playoffs. Being in the playoffs is such a toll.
And also with the playoffs, it's the experience that everyone has. Since they're seniors, they've had 4 years of playing basketball here at South Kitsap, so they know and have the experience to get through those games that are hard.
The whole starting lineup has returned this year, and they only lost 1 total senior off the team last year. It looks like there's going to be a timeout, and just before the timeout, it looked like the usual starters are going to go back in. And so we'll see if they're able to put some points on the board. And with that timeout, there's 4 minutes and 34 seconds with a score of 0-0 still.
I'm excited. This is shaping up to be a great game we're having right in front of us.
Yep, Callaghan's giving him a talk down there. What do you think he's telling him?
I think he's telling him to keep doing what he's doing. Play aggressive D, pass the ball, and, look for the open shot.
Yeah, that defense is big. And they did catch a break on those free throws there, but they'll take whatever they can.
Right. And, Kyler and Gavin that are entering the game right now are 2 really tall players that have the capability of getting up there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a much more doable matchup. Hopefully that'll help us propel some points on the board for offense.
Puyallup did sub in their 7-footer.
And right now you see Eli Mackey, number 12, in at shooting guard. Jackson Cambridge, who is a senior, was starting at shooting guard at the beginning of the year, but unfortunately he did break his wrist, and he's been out for a majority of the season.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're, with that loss, they have, been able to rebound from it. And, actually it seems like they have been playing a little bit harder for Jackson.
Yeah, it does seem like they've been able to rally around Jackson, do it for Jackson, because one thing Jackson was able to tell us is that he might be able to play in playoffs if they qualify. And he broke his wrist back in December, and he might be getting his cast off in the next couple weeks, so he might be joining the boys for the playoffs.
And Jackson's a 3-year starter and also a 2-year captain, so, he plays a big role in this team.
And they go for an alley-oop, but it just doesn't connect. Gavin has made 2 or 3 of those this season, and along with a couple other dunks. It's really important to have that height. That's why this game is going to be big, because both teams do have pretty good height.
Yes, they do indeed, Colin. Oh, Riley Escolta, man, he is quick, I will say. He has very quick handles, and he is precise with his passing and handles.
Not to mention his off-ball cuts. He's really able to get open a lot of the time, which is really good because there's always a safety net for them to pass back to if a player gets in trouble.
And for a smaller guy, Riley rebounds the ball perfectly.
Yeah, like I was talking about earlier with the boxing out, he's able to get in there, push the guys back, and not let them use their height to an advantage. He gets them away from the hoop. And there's only a few seconds left. They're not able to get the shot off. That's unfortunate. Anytime you're not able to get a shot off down on offense, it does kind of feel like a wasted drive.
Right. But, SK is playing a pretty good game defensively. Like, the score is they're only down by 2 points, which is obviously calling 1 basket.
Yeah, this is the lowest scoring game I've seen of this season. After a couple minutes, it's 0-0, and I didn't really think much of it. But, clearly, the defense on both sides has come out to play, and you can just see by the way the boys are down on the floor. They're pretty aggressive right now.
Yes, the refs are letting them play good defense, which is pretty essential because, sometimes, just aggressive defense leads to fouls.
Yeah, the boys are doing a good job of playing aggressive but also keeping it clean.
Right, of course.
On the last defensive stop, Kyler Kelso was able to get a nice rebound. Him and Gavin being able to rebound is going to be a big key tonight.
They've been rebounding pretty good, Colin. Like I said, that was going to be a key to the game, and look how close the game is right now.
Not to mention rebounding, but both big men have been putting up threes. Kyler Kelso hit 3 3-pointers in their last game, one towards the end that helped them secure that victory.
It's a new generation of big men, Colin. Those big men, they're big, and they can shoot.
Yeah, basketball is clearly different than it was even just 5 years ago. Almost everyone is on the floor is required to be able to shoot three-pointers now.
Right, and Coach Callaghan calls a timeout. Looks like he's bringing them aside. What do you think they're talking about now, Colin?
I really think he's just trying to get them to get going on offense. The defense is starting to give up a few points. They're only down 5 right now, but SK still has yet to put points on the board. And you never want to go in the second quarter pointless.
Right. And, it's just a good game, though, Colin. Both sides are playing aggressive, clean defense. And, I would not expect anything else from this type of game, of a lower scoring game, from this type of defense that they were playing.
Yeah, I think if SK can go out and hit a couple baskets right before this quarter ends, they can shift that momentum going into the second quarter.
Right. I 100% agree with you with that.
And it looks like the Vikings are going to continue with their full court press. It does seem to be working for them, though, since SK has yet to score.
Yeah, but, they do break the press, though, Colin. So I think it was more they're trying to tire our athletes down, so they give them a challenge to bring it to the court instead of letting them freely bring it up, if you know what I mean.
Oh. Eli with a great three-pointer. That's exactly what I think we need. The crowd is motivated, but an unfortunate foul by Riley Escolta right there. Hopefully that doesn't kill the momentum too much. There's no shooting fouls yet. The fouls have, like you said, been pretty low this game, which is good.
Our team is really good at, realizing that they've made a mistake and not dropping their head from it. So, I don't think fouls really play as much as a part in our team chemistry compared to other schools.
Yeah, you can really see that just from the bench. Everyone's there for each other, trying to cheer each other up. And Gavin Morker goes to the ground, but no foul is called. And the basket is made, giving the Vikings a 4-point lead. Again, SK looks to
break the press.
Eli with a nice move.
Colin, if you were Coach Callaghan, what would you say to the boys when you took that timeout?
I think I would tell them that we need to start putting up shots. We've had 3 different, like I said, we need to put up shots.
What a good call, Colin.
Previously, we had 3 different drives that ended in shot clock violations, and that just can't happen. If you're not getting a shot up, you don't give yourself a chance to score. And Riley with some great defense down there. Ooh, and the Vikings are able to jam that one out.
Colin, with the tall stature that the Puyallup team does have, dunks do happen often when they play against them.
Yeah, a lot of people think that high school basketball isn't always exciting, but with dunks like that, I know Curtis in the league also is known to dunk. We've had our fair share of dunks. There are people in this league who have been able to get that ball in the hoop. And Kyler with a good rebound from the inside. It does seem like rebounding is playing a key part in this game. The last second shot from the Vikings does just miss.
Yeah, see, Colin, they've made 3 baskets on back-to-back drives, and look, they're already 1 point down.
Yeah, at the end of the first quarter, the score is 8-9.
We do have a couple of first quarter stats. Riley Escolta does lead the team. Riley Escolta and Eli Mackey lead the team with 3 points.
And Ante, just right there before the quarter ended, contributed another 2.
So like I said, Colin, they're right there. If they get cooking on offense, they could run away with this game, essentially.
Yeah, these seniors, and it looks like we're going to have a replay real quick. There's Eli Mackey's three-pointer. That was a big three-pointer.
That was clutch.
That was the first points we were able to get on the board. That really shifted the tide, and then we were able to keep scoring after that. With this dish to Riley, we were able to put another 3 on the board. Make things 6-9. And then here is Ante.
The rebounder, Colin, playing an intricate
backcourt.
Gavin,
a miss by Kyler, but Ante sticks with it and doesn't give up on the play. That's one of the big things tonight, not giving up.
Correct, Colin, correct. That and rebounding, if I do say so myself.
All right, any basket will put us ahead.
Colin, I see that Puyallup, they do run their starters a lot. That means their starters must be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, Puyallup does have a good starting roster, but just like SK, they do have a lot of depth to this team. That's one of the contributing factors to this. They're one of the top teams in our league right now.
And Cullen, correct me if I'm wrong, but if they win this game, South Kitsap wins this game, do they secure the 4th seed in the SPSL?
Yeah, they do secure the 4th seed, which would be crucial for the playoffs. By securing that 4th seed, it does guarantee them the ability to lose and maintain the playoffs. If they go down to that 5th seed, it will be a harder road for them, considering they can't lose a game.
Yeah, it's do or die in that 5th seed, which I know for South would, much like any other team, want to have that 4th seed.
Yeah, they have 2 games to pull off 1 win, so hopefully they'll be able to get it done.
I know our boys, they want to win just as bad as anyone else.
And the way this game is going, they're playing a lot better than last night. Do you think, and there's another dunk.
That's that 7-footer I was talking about, Cullen.
Yeah, having a guy that tall is really, really impactful for your team. Not many guys have the height to be able to match and defend that.
There's not many 7-footers in the SPSL and in Washington in general.
It seems so far at the start of this quarter, it has been Puyallup that has really got the ball moving. We need South Kitsap to step up big here.
Yes, Puyallup has been able to commit a couple turnovers on offense or on defense when they're on defense and score after it, just like that last bucket.
A lot of people think the 4th quarter is the most important quarter of a basketball game, but really it comes down to the 2nd and 3rd quarter. That's where all the war zone is. That's where all the fighting is. That's where all the points and leads come.
Oh, and Gavin Morkert is sent to the line for 2 free throws.
It'll be really important for Gavin to hit both of these free throws right here.
Because with that, they're only down by a bucket.
Yeah, and you don't want to leave points on the board. Even if it's early, those points can come back to bite you. And Gavin is just short on that free throw.
But I do know, Cullen, I have been to a couple practices this year, and free throws are a big part of their practices. I know they shoot like 100 a day, if I could say.
Yeah, Coach Callaghan really emphasizes free throws and really understands the importance of them. And he teaches his boys not just to try and make the free throw, but to make it as pretty as possible.
Yeah.
They have contests to see who can get the nicest swish going on their free throws. And that's one of the things why SK has been able to be successful is just the competitive nature. Whether it's shooting free throws or in a live game, their competitive spirit really just shines through.
Yes, the SPSL in general is really a competitive school, and we did switch to that league 2 years ago, and people were wondering how we were going to do in the new competition, but I think we have done an amazing job adapting to a very, very competitive league.
Yeah, moving up to a league can always be difficult, and although some sports have struggled, basketball has been one of the sports that's really been able to still excel in this new league. And it looks like we're going to have Josh Potts coming into the game. Riley Escolta will step out. Josh Potts is a crowd favorite. Many people rocking his senior shirt here tonight.
It's like almost like a contest, Cullen.
Who can get the most senior shirts worn?
Josh is really a field general when it comes to the point guard position, actually, in many aspects. He controls the team when he's on the court, and it's apparent.
And Josh is able to poke the ball out and get the ball back for his team.
Oh.
In that overtime win, Josh was the one who was able to hit the free throws to win that game just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, if you talk to Josh, obviously making those 2 free throws weren't easy, but if you asked him, you would have just thought it was a routine thing for him.
Yeah, a lot of our guys in these big situations don't really get caught up in it. They keep level-headed, they maintain their cool, and they play well. That's why it's important to keep this game close. It is hard to battle back from a big lead, and right now South is currently down 8 points. They haven't had any really answers on offense this quarter, and it seems like Puyallup has been able to control the narrative so far.
Puyallup's zone is very effective, Colin. They do communicate too on the court, which is very, very important on defense.
Yeah, 6 of the 9 points tonight have been from the outside from three-pointers, and so that might be a key to the game, is being able to hit those three-pointers where the zone is weak. Big man Kyler takes a 3, and it just misses.
Yeah, you can't leave Kyler open on that three-point line, because him and Gavin, both big men, can shoot the rock.
Yeah, a lot of people do tend to underestimate the Wolves' big men, but they have been shown to prove themselves as three-point shooters.
And Kyler Kelso has been a starter since his freshman year, which is a big deal in basketball here at South.
Yeah, he's always had that size. He's always had that ability. And he has amazing work ethic. He's one of those guys, he's first in, last out. He has a court at his house, and he practices with his dad, who's one of the assistant coaches, for hours on end at his house, just practicing, doing his post moves, shooting, anything you could think of.
And I'm pretty sure, Cullen, that he was a captain sophomore year. So that just shows what the coaching staff and what the team thinks.
Yeah, they really believe in him. He's definitely one of their key players. And I know him and Gavin have both been talked to by colleges. There's Eli with a big three.
You can't leave Eli open either. He'll make you pay. I remember back in junior high, he would shoot threes and threes against us when we played at the good old Cedar.
Eli is getting hot tonight.
Oh, that is a defensive steal by Donovan Grant. Like I said, Colin, it is a game of runs, and it sounds like SK is about to make their run.
Yeah, Puyallup went on a run at the beginning of this quarter, but if SK can go on a run here, it'll put the game back in their favor.
Oh, and it is white ball.
That's a favorable call. Sometimes those don't always go your way, so you got to count your lucky stars when they do.
Yeah, you got to battle adversity, I would say, Colin. And look at our student section today, Colin. When was the last time you were able to see that?
Yeah, that's a big student section. Last year, the team was struggling, and they did ultimately miss the playoffs, and you could really tell that by the student interaction. The students weren't showing up to the game, but just the fact that the student section is so big this year just kind of pays tribute to the fact that how successful these boys have been able to be this year.
And, you know, our student body has, you know, been working on projects that incorporate the student section more, like telling them we announce the games at lunches and stuff for the student section to come, and we have themes too. So, you know, the student body has been exceptional at getting kids out to our student section.
Yeah, you can really see a shift from last year. And I think it really has helped the guys. After the game, the student section will walk out onto the floor, hug all the guys, give them high fives, tell them they did a great job, win or lose, especially in wins.
It's good to have that support.
Yeah, if you don't have the fans on your side, then you don't really have a home court advantage.
Right.
And having that home court advantage is a really big deal.
People don't think it means as much, but I know if there's 20 people on the sideline versus 200, it does make an impact.
Yeah, that noise can really throw the other team off. And it looks like SK tries to get a little too aggressive there, throwing the ball just over the head of Donovan Grant.
But, you know, SK is very capable of making this comeback. I would say they are in control of this game right now.
Yeah, they haven't let the other team score, and they're playing really aggressive on defense. Eli's going to try and take it all the way, and he's just not able to finish. But Donovan gets the rebound, and a foul is called.
Oh, they called over the back on Donovan Grant, which is his first foul.
The crowd does not sound very happy about that. A lot of boos coming from the crowd, but
no, the refs do try their best, though, Colin. They are human, so mistakes do happen. But that is okay.
And we got an over and back called on the Vikings. Eli was able to get in there and throw the defender off, throw the offender off.
See, now Josh is slowing it down, which I think is what the South needs right now, is to slow the pace of the game, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Really take that 30 seconds that they have for shot clock.
When the game turns fast, Puyallup definitely has the advantage with speed and height. But if we slow it down, our offense is able to maintain and put points on the board just like that, with Kyler Kelso scoring a basket.
Kyler Kelso has lots of post moves in his arsenal, so that won't be the last time you'll see that move. Oh, that is a charge!
And an offensive foul. The ball is going back to SK. Here at SK, Coach Callaghan really preaches taking those charges. Every time a player takes a charge in a basketball game, they are awarded a cheeseburger.
Yes, and that was actually, Colin, it used to be cheeseburgers, but now since A&W is gone, and we are sad to say that A&W is gone, they are awarded a cheese pizza,
which some players might think is better. But the key in that is really just a lot of the times players are scared to take the hit and go to the floor, but by motivating them, even though it is with food, it really just pushes them over and allows them to get that offensive foul. And one guy who's really good at drawing offensive foul is Cutter Pace. Ever since freshman year, he's been able to get out there and take the offensive foul. His signature, as he gets hit, helps him draw those fouls.
And Colin, I think we're about to go on our run. It started. We are playing exceptional defense right now.
Yeah, we've scored many consecutive points. And we've been able to hold the Vikings to 19. I think if we can get the lead before half, that'll really shift the game in our favor.
Like I did say, and that is another charge.
Another charge. Like I was saying, SK really coaches up those charges. really helps the guys understand when to take the charge and how to take the charge.
They do practice that a lot in practice.
Yeah, and that's just the genius of Coach Callaghan, someone that we will really miss after he retires this season. Speaking of Coach Callaghan, he recently got his 300th win just a week or two ago here at South Kitsap, which is a huge milestone for a high school coach, or really any coach.
Yes, Cullen, I do think that he will be inducted into the Hall of Fame when he does retire.
Yeah, he's been one of the most efficient coaches here at South Kitsap, taking them to the Tacoma Dome for the playoffs many times and even bringing home a championship once.
How long has he been here, Cullen?
This is his 21st season. And a three by Josh ties the game. That is big. That is big with just 27 seconds left in the half. If they can get a stop here. And a travel by the Vikings. They need to
hold it. If they can hold it for last shot.
Yeah.
They can get out here possibly with the lead.
South Kitsap runs an offense called North Carolina. And they normally use that. They use that offense to try and get that one last shot off.
Well, it does take a timeout.
South Kitsap has a lot of energy coming into the bench. They really feel like the momentum's on their side, and I can't argue with that.
Yes, the momentum has shifted completely. Like I said earlier, SK does have control of this ball game right now.
Yeah, they were down 7 points earlier, and to be able to come back without allowing the other team to score is really big. It really is a game of runs. Callaghan is really good in the huddle. He's always got the right words to tell his guys what to do.
And sometimes it's just as simple as, let's put the rock in the hoop.
Yeah, that is a Coach Callaghan classic. And another guy on the huddle who's a big deal is Jackson Cambridge, the hurt senior this year. Although he's not able to play, he's really helped this team just stay on track and keeps everyone motivated. He's almost acted as a coach since he's been injured.
He is a very vocal leader, Colin.
Yeah, he's known to be a little mouthy on the court. Sometimes it'll get him in trouble, but everyone on the team knows his fire, knows his passion for the game.
And knows his why.
And a foul drawn with just 6 seconds left.
It looks like South Kitsap has potential to get the lead by halftime. And that's Gavin Morkert shooting his 4th and 3rd free throw of the game.
Gavin Morkert went 1 for 2 on his last set of attempts, so hopefully he can go 2 for 2 and put them up by a significant amount.
And SK takes the lead. Their first lead of the game.
That's big. When you're not leading for 19 points, that can really be take a toll on you over the game. But to see them come back like that just really shows their mental toughness and how badly they want to win this game for senior night.
Oh, and that's a rebound.
And unfortunately, it slips out of his hands.
It doesn't look like they'll get off a shot. Oh.
And Josh will foul to prevent them from being able to get the shot off.
And there's 0.7 on the clock, Colin, so that means it's going to have to be a pass and shoot.
Yeah, they don't have any time to dribble this ball. They're just going to have to throw it up right away. That was a really smart play by Josh, I think.
Yes, that was a very, very, very smart play.
And with that, the halftime score will be Wolves 20, Guests 19, which is the Puyallup Vikings. Since this could potentially be Coach Callaghan's last home game of his career here at South, we have some highlights of his career. We'll be right back with the second half.
A new head coach is leading the South Kitsap men's basketball team. Mr. John Callaghan is trying to guide this year's team to the state playoffs.
What do we need to do to make the playoffs? Well, we just need to concentrate on each game and go into each game to win each game. We don't really want to look too far ahead. We have our goals set, as our team goals, and they have their individual goals. And one of our team goals is to make the playoffs.
Ryan Letson is a returning letterman for the Wolves and likes how the new coach runs the team.
As a head coach, I like him a lot. He gets us excited to practice. He makes us wanna work hard. We run a lot. I like him. He's a good guy.
One of the top players that Coach Callaghan depends on is Nigel Sims. He's the Wolves' leading scorer.
Well, I don't know, he brings a lot to the team. Like he knows what he's talking about, and he's someone that you could talk to and everything. He's like a good coach on the court because brings experience and everything, and he's also a good friend off the court. Someone that you could talk to that's something that not a lot of coaches have. A lot of on and off court friendships.
As of mid-December, the Wolves' record is 3-1, and Coach Callaghan believes the Wolves have potential to have a great year.
Well, I think we have a few things that we can rely on, and one of them is definitely our depth. We probably have 9 or 10 guys that can play, and when one person comes in for another guy, we don't really fall off. So our depth is definitely one thing. Hopefully our conditioning will play a part in the fourth quarter of every game, because we plan on pressuring most teams full court the whole way. And then we have quite a few guys that can shoot. We have some guys that can shoot the ball. So if we play defense and block out, we'll be okay.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here to recap the first half of the game.
There was a very exciting game this half, I would say, Colin.
Yeah, it did start off a little slow. We had all 5 men were seniors, and they were able to play really well on defense, and they were able to shut out the Puyallup Vikings' high-scoring offense, although they weren't able to put up any points up on the board.
Yeah, but you know, Cullen, like I said before, basketball is a game of runs, and SK was just starting to run and took the momentum away from Puyallup's side and shifted it towards them.
Yeah, at one point they were down 7 points, 19-12, and they were just able to fight and come back.
Yes, and while that time, Cullen, they did not let Puyallup score a single point.
Yeah, Puyallup's been held to 19 since just a few minutes into the second quarter, which is really impressive. One of the highlights of the game tonight has been Eli Mackey with his 3-pointers. He's been able to hit 3-pointers, and that's just been a big thing for us tonight, is being able to get those 3-pointers on the board.
Which is shown right behind us.
Yes, there are replays going on right behind us of Eli Mackey's points. Another big key has been rebounding tonight. Like we talked about during the game, is rebounding is just going to be a crucial part of tonight's game.
And second chance points actually comes from rebounding as well, Cullen. Like Ante was able to score a point off of a second chance shot, which was 2 rebounds actually that we got back from each other.
Yeah, that was really important. Just being able to stay in there and stay focused even after the shots aren't hitting is going to be big. Because even if the shot misses, you always have that chance to get the rebound and put it back up for more points.
And Gavin Morker did take the lead with shooting those free throws, Colin. So, you know, free throws are pretty important too.
Yeah, great job to Gavin. He missed his first free throw, but he's been able to hit the next 3 after that, which is going to be really important later on in the game.
Yes, because those 3 points will matter. And if it keeps going like this game that we're having, it's going to be very, very important.
Yeah, it should be a pretty tight game. Both defenses have played well. Both offenses towards the end of the half have played really well as well.
Yes, SK has been able to play aggressive, clean defense.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things. Neither of them got in foul trouble. Neither of them shot because of fouls, which is a really important thing for, especially in basketball.
Yeah, you know, whoever can limit the amount of fouls that each team has is
yeah,
great.
If your fouls get too high, you'll put them on the line, and that's just free points for fouls.
Yeah.
And right here, we have the SK schedule. Today, we have the Puyallup here at SK, and then tomorrow, SK goes to Sumner High School to take on Sumner as they look for that end-of-season win. And then, based on the win tonight, we will see what seed we are for the playoffs. The playoffs are going to be important. How do you think the guys will shape up in the playoffs?
Well, you know, Colin, like you said, a key piece might be coming back during the playoffs, and that is Jackson Kamich, and he is a very vocal and talented guy on the team, and we know that he's a very important role to the team as a leader and as a player.
Yeah, he's there. He was their starting shooting guard before he unfortunately broke his wrist, but having him back will be crucial. He's been able to still work with the team. He comes to practice every day, continues to put in that work, and it's just really big. And with that, we just have about 40 seconds left in the half. What do you think the keys for this second half are going to be?
Cullen, if they can maintain the defense that they are playing, they can edge this team out.
Yeah, I really agree with that. Defense is going to be key. This Puyallup team has been able to put up a lot of points in past games. And so the fact that they're held to just 19 points at halftime and SK has the lead is really big. And I think that home crowd really does play a part in it.
And Puyallup starts with the ball in the second half. What do you think Puyallup's coaches said to them in the locker room at halftime?
I think Puyallup wants them to get more aggressive. As you can see by that, they're taking more shots. They're trying to get those rebounds. And it looks like they're going to put up another one. My bad. Never mind. But yeah, I just think Puyallup wants to be a little bit more aggressive on offense. I don't think they're playing as aggressively as they usually do.
And yeah, you know what, Cullen, it sounds like you were in the huddle because they are playing pretty aggressive. They have shot 2 threes in a row.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are pretty surprised by the defense SK has been able to come out here with. They're not used to being stopped like this in these type of games.
You know, the last time they played, the matchup did not go in SK's favor. So, I'm sure Puyallup thought that they were going to have kind of a cakewalk going into this game. But, it is senior night, so emotions are flying, and SK is playing amazing.
Yeah, and that was the 3rd missed 3 on the same drive. SK was able to finally get the ball back, but that's got to be a confidence killer for the Vikings right at the start of the half to miss 3 3-pointers in a row. If SK can capitalize with some points right here, that'll be big.
Yes, Colin, it would be big. And, who's someone that's been a little quiet this game has been Ante Ward. But, you do not want to get Ante started on offense.
Ante's one of those players who will be quiet and then end up bite you in the butt at the end of the game. He'll be able to put a couple points on the board when the team really needs it.
And that is crucial.
And another missed three-pointer.
I think number 24 has missed 3 threes, Colin.
Yeah, if the Vikings want to be able to take this game, their shooting will have to improve, as will SK's. Both teams just need points on the board. I wonder if this half will start like the other half with a lot of defense and maybe less scoring and then pick up towards the end of the game.
Yeah, SK plays its best ball when they try to slow down the ball, Colin, and get that good shot. Not just a shot, but a good shot.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I can get them in trouble when they hold on to the ball too long.
Yes,
right now they only have 5 seconds left on that shot clock. And Eli's just not really aware of the situation, isn't able to get the shot off.
Like you just said, Colin, that shot clock can play a pretty intricate role in how fast the team moves on offense.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of the time, it is important to slow the ball down, but you don't want to play too slow. You always want to be looking for that open basket. And I think if SK can do that while just keeping their slow pace, it will be key for this game.
Oh, another shot up.
And a rebound by Kyler. That's big.
Both teams have not been able to take the lid off the basket, Colin.
I think another big thing for the South Kitsap Wolves is the chemistry they've had. A lot of these guys have been playing select and local league basketball together since elementary school, and that's really helped these guys form a bond, and they can finish each other's sentences.
And there's the post moves by Kyler Kelso and an amazing dish by Ante.
Yeah, he's got a lot of moves. He can spin, he can pump fake, he can do it all. He can shoot mid-range, and, of course, he can
great
shoot those
defense. Colin, they have not stopped. Their foot is on the gas on defense. Aggressive and clean defense.
Yeah, I've really been impressed. I don't think I've seen a defensive performance like this from South Kitsap this year. They've had some good ones, but I think this is definitely their best.
I do agree. I can't agree to that, Colin.
And I think defense is really important because you can't always control if those shots are going to fall. Sometimes it just doesn't go your way. But you can always control that defensive effort. And that's another thing that they preach here at SK is no matter what, you can always play defense.
And Colin, with great defense comes points too.
Yeah, that's very true. And it looks like there's going to be an unfortunate shooting foul on Gavin Morker, which will put them to the line, the Vikings.
They do have the chance to tie the game right here, Colin.
Yep, he will have one free throw to shoot.
Because that was an and one.
A big thing will not be letting the Vikings get the rebound off this.
Or not kill the momentum that South has, too. Momentum does play a pretty big part in any sport. And, once one team shifts the momentum, it's like you just walked into a completely different game.
A good recovery by Eli, and Kyler puts out a three, and again is just barely off. I bet by the end of the game he'll have 1 or 2.
He'll start hitting those, Colin. You can't leave them open.
Yeah, sometimes it's take a shooter 1 or 2 shots to find their rhythm, but they always do find it.
Shooters are going to shoot, Colin. Oh.
And a foul by the Vikings on Riley Escolta. It looks like Josh Potts is going to come into the game.
For Riley Escolta. Maybe it'll be good for Riley to calm down. And, he did just take a little bit of a stumble right there. And, that floor is not soft, Colin.
Oh, yeah, of course. Having a fresh body, especially in that point guard, is really big. Point guard has to stay mentally sharp as well as physically sharp. So being able to have 2 point guards like Josh and Riley is really big. And just a little miscommunication there as Eli looks for a pass but isn't able to get it to anyone.
Colin, we've touched on it a bit throughout the game, but the depth that SK has allows them to have multiple guys of the same skill level and whatnot come in and serve as a fresh body, but not really lacking as much of the skill because they are very similar players, all of them.
Yeah, no one's really safe in their spots this year. It's been really competitive.
Which is what you want from a team, Colin.
Yeah, especially at all the guard positions, point guard and shooting guard while Jackson was in. I know, but Eli hasn't really seemed to slack ever since the competition from Jackson has gone away. It almost seems like he's picked it up just to show the coaches and just to honor Jackson.
Eli Mackey is one of those players that has been playing on varsity since his freshman year. So, he does have that experience that most guys that are in his age of a junior and class don't have.
Yeah, the team does have a lot of potential, especially coming into next year with 3 of this year's current starters staying on the team for next year.
Yeah, and you can't slag Cullen, because those younger teams, SC team or JV, I watched their game earlier, and they are very competitive and hungry to get out there.
Yeah, and there are a lot of young guys. Sometimes those JV teams get overloaded with juniors, and they're not able to really show the sophomores how to get good game experience and play in those high-level games. But a lot of sophomores have really shined through this year, and going forward, I think SK has a good chance at success, assuming that whoever fills in for Callaghan is able to pick up the reins where Callaghan left off.
Well, I know that Callaghan is probably looking for someone who can fill, and Callaghan has good judgment on who he surrounds himself with.
Again,
because all of the assistant coaches are pretty good.
Again, SK takes it right to the buzzer, and Josh Potts is not able to connect on that one.
No, Colin, I think that SK should take a timeout, regroup, and go over some plans.
Yeah, I do think they need that. The Vikings have been able to score a few consecutive points, kind of shifted in their favor, and the defense does look a little bit more tired, and they're putting up more fouls than they have been.
Yeah, but Colin, the game is not far away at all. They're only down by 2 buckets.
Well, yeah, it's a really maintainable game. Down 3 points is not that bad, especially with the way we've been shooting threes tonight. All it takes is 1 shot. The key is just going to be keeping up that aggressiveness on defense without slacking. As soon as you start slacking, the fouls start coming, which is not good.
Defense takes a lot of energy, Colin, so, the rotation is going to be a big part in this team, too. But
yeah.
I know they have the guys to do it.
Yeah, being able to rotate players is really big, and a big block by Josh Potts.
That'll get the crowd going, and there's the momentum swish.
And unfortunately, just over the back of the rim.
Notice, Colin, that every SK player has their head up and is excited to play this game.
Yeah, although there's been a few ups and downs in the momentum, SK has definitely been able to maintain a positive attitude during this game.
Which is important because, there are some teams that once they start losing, their heads go down, and then it's an ugly sight.
And an offensive foul by Ante as he tries to wrestle the ball away. An elbow does collide with one of the players' faces.
It looks like number 10 just walked off the court, Colin. I think he might have gotten hit.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay. Even though they're the opposing team, you never want to see anyone get hurt like that.
Right.
Ante does seem to be disappointed with the call, however. It is big to lose the ball like that, and it's unfortunate for both teams. Wow. Callaghan does seem to be talking with the referee right now, arguing his case.
Oh, I think they gave him a technical.
Yeah, it does look like they gave Ante a technical, by the way. He's shooting free throws.
Cullen, if Ante gets one more technical, he is out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, technicals are a big thing. 2 technicals and you're out. Luckily, Puyallup only is able to hit one of those 2 shots.
Did you see that, Cullen? Jackson Cambridge came off the bench, and it seemed like he was coaching up Ante. That's that leadership role that Jackson plays on
Yeah,
this team.
sometimes a coach just can't emotionally connect with a kid and get them to calm down like a teammate can. Having a teammate that can step up and tell you to get your head back in the game can be really big. And SK already has 5 fouls in the 3rd quarter. If they want to be able to stay in this game, they're going to have to keep that number way down in this next quarter.
They are still continuing to play that tough zone, Cullen.
Yeah, they really are. And just there you can see how Puyallup's height will affect this game with them getting that rebound. And Ante playing aggressive but still not able to get the ball.
That is
a
travel.
The game is looking like it's starting to get a little bit aggressive. Both teams kind of coming at each other, trying to get some chip shots in. Hopefully they're able to clean things up like they did in the first half.
If Gavin would have gotten that charge, Cullen, that would have been his 3rd pizza of the game.
Yeah, I wonder what he'll do with all that pizza after the game.
Maybe he'll throw a party. Maybe he'll invite us too.
And it looks like they have to clean up something on the floor. Hopefully no blood. Hopefully it was just some spit or something. And it looks like Donovan Grant is going to be checking into the game.
Who does he go in for? He's taking Eli Mackey out. I think it'll be good for Eli to take a break real quick.
Yeah,
he has been playing pretty good.
Eli was the one hitting all their 3-pointers in that first half there. So if he can get a break and get his shooting arm back on, that'll be key.
Look how they just break down that press, Colin.
Yeah,
they practice that all day. And
I'm really impressed with the way they've been able to evade the press. I don't think they've had a single turnover off the press, and Puyallup's been pushing it all game, which has to just tire them out at some point.
Right, and, you know, pushing that press.
Ante with a very contested three-pointer, swishes it and holds his arm out to show the other team he's here to play.
That's that thing. You don't want to get Ante started cooking or he'll make you pay. It doesn't matter if someone's in his face.
Yeah, Ante's definitely one of the most athletic players on this team, and he's one of the best dual threats potentially in the whole league. He's able to hit threes heavily contested as well as drive and put moves on you.
And he plays exceptional defense, Colin.
Yeah,
and
he's definitely one of the best defensive players on this team as well. He's really been their all-around guy.
And, Colin, if I'm not mistaken, Ante is also there in the classroom. He was Student of the Month this year, this semester and month.
Yeah, that's a really good turnaround to see from Ante. I know at times he's had some hardships, but he's been able to bounce back, especially this year, and he's had a really impressive season, both on and off the court.
That was a mental error by Puyallup. Maybe there's just a little miscommunication there.
If we can get some points here right before the end of the quarter, that would be big. If we can take that lead back, Puyallup's going to look to score some points, but they won't be able to run out the clock all the way.
This is. They are playing great defense. They're also getting pretty lucky that some of their shots aren't falling because Colin.
And Ante's going to get the ball back with 23 seconds, going to try and take it all the way.
Oh.
And draws the foul even though he does not make the basket.
He will be shooting two. That is first couple shots on the day.
Ante knows these are going to be really important shots. With 20 seconds left, getting that 1-point lead is going to be important because more than likely Puyallup will get that last shot off before the quarter ends.
And, Colin, I do think that Ante's mind has switched to being more aggressive this quarter on offense.
And unfortunately, that ball does not fall. But, yeah, I definitely agree. I think he's realized that he can't just stand by anymore. He needs to go put points on the board, and it definitely seems like he started to try and do that.
And, you know, Ante is also the leading scorer this season.
Yeah, he's been able to do some big nights this season with 20-point nights. I think maybe even a 30-point night. And with that basket, the score is tied up. Puyallup is going to try it with the last 20 seconds to get one last shot off to go for the lead.
Eli checks in for Ante.
Coach just wants to get Ante a little bit of a breather right before the end of the quarter. And they probably want their deep three-point shooters in the game. And they're still trying to, SK's defense is still pounding on Puyallup, and they're not able to get the shot off. Gavin secures the rebound to keep the game tied up.
This is a very low-scoring game on both high-powered offense.
Yeah, 28-28 is definitely not what you expect to see.
And SK has been battling back from being down, like you said, from 7 points, and battling back to taking the lead at halftime, and then just being down by a couple points right there and battling back.
And in that third quarter, it looks like Ante was the leading scorer with 4 points. A couple of those coming off the free throws he was able to shoot. He was also able to just keep a very aggressive play style. Although it did get him a foul, I think it was not intentional, and I think he's just going to be able to bounce back from that.
Colin, you know how we've been talking about how it's been a very defensive game this whole game actually. There was only 8 points put up by South this quarter.
Yeah, the game is now tied 28-28, so the score is basically 0-0.
Yes, it's anyone's ball game right here.
Yeah, it just comes down to, doesn't matter who scored what earlier in the game, whoever can put up the most points in this fourth quarter will be the winner of this game.
Yeah, Colin, it almost comes down to who wants it more, and I know the SK wants it really bad.
And it looks like Mikey Welch is going to check into the game. Mikey is a senior. It's really been cool to see Mikey grow. I know at first he started down on the C team just last season, and he was able to work his way all the way up.
He did start a couple games this season, Colin, so you just know how much time and effort he has put this season.
Yeah, and that size is also important. Being able to have 2 big guys that start and 1 big guy from the bench is really important.
Oh, see, look at that rebound.
And the rebound comes up big. The crowd loves it.
Ante puts 2 points in and takes the lead, 30-28.
Oh, and a deep three-pointer just doesn't hit its mark for Puyallup.
Ante has been all over from the very last couple minutes of the third quarter and the start of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, he really exploded. I wonder if that pep talk after the foul from Jackson Cambage had anything to do with his performance right now. And just misses. I know Jackson is one of those guys that is really motivating. He makes you want to play. He makes you want to win.
And Cullen, the first person off the bench when a point is scored is Jackson. Even though he is hurt, he finds a way to motivate and drive his team.
Yeah, he loves this team. I've been playing basketball with him since 7th grade, and I know basketball is one of the things he loves most in life. And Josh with almost a steal.
Oh.
And the three-pointers have just seemed to be off the mark for the Vikings tonight. However, Gavin is not able to secure the rebound, and it goes out of bounds. The student section is doing their best right now to try and get in the heads of those Viking players, chanting at the players after a missed three-pointer. The refs are seeming to have a little communication. Another key in the last few minutes has been the fact that SK has not been fouling. After Ante's foul, which took them to 5 fouls, they've been able to maintain a low foul count.
Right, Colin, you are right. A big part of basketball is to stay in control of the game and not commit dumb fouls.
Yeah, and that three-pointer there gives Puyallup the lead of 1 point. Yeah, as soon as SK gets to 7 fouls, Puyallup will get to start shooting free throws, which in a game as tight as this is really something that you can't let happen. So as long as they keep their fouls low for the next part of the game, they will be able to maintain and win this game, hopefully.
Ooh, what a tough screen set by number 15 of Puyallup.
It looks like Gavin Morkert is getting one more breather right now before the end of the game. They really want that starting 5 out on the floor for the very end of the game. And everyone is battling for that rebound, but it looks like the Vikings come out on top, giving themselves a 3-point lead.
Colin, a little bit of a momentum switch happened right there.
Yeah, a dunk is always one way to switch the momentum of a game. And it seems like even though he doesn't have the home crowd advantage, number 24 with that dunk has kind of been able to silence the home crowd. Eli, unfortunately, misses a three-pointer. But he looks like he's playing aggressive defense to try and make up for it.
It looks like Donovan Grant and Gavin Morkert are getting ready to sub in.
Yeah, my guess is that they come in for Eli and Mikey.
Lately Donovan has been a source of offense for them in the past couple of games. So maybe we'll see that flare of offense Donovan brings.
Yeah, he's come out big in the end of games. In the fourth quarter of their last 2 home games here at SK, Donovan has put up many points and really was the reason they were able to get the tie in that overtime win a couple weeks ago.
South has got to be careful. That's their 6th foul right there, Colin.
Yeah, any fouls from this point forward will put Puyallup Vikings on the line. Callaghan seems to be frustrated talking to the ref there.
Hopefully, Colin, our student section will do something so that this guy will not make his next 2 free throws.
Yeah, they're doing their best to be loud, but unfortunately it doesn't always work out. And it seems like that time it doesn't.
You know what, Colin? I think for some student sections, the goal is for them to miss at least 1 free throw, to get them to miss 1 free throw out of the 2. Because, like I said earlier, free throws are a very intricate part of the game, and, missed ones do come back to bite you in the rear end sometimes.
And there's that miss for you. And it looks like SK will maintain the ball. The Vikings coach does not seem to be very happy about that, but that does fall in SK's favor. One interesting thing I noticed is that the Vikings in the last few minutes have pulled back from that full court press. I wonder if their guys were getting a little tired.
SK has had great ball movement this quarter. Oh, yeah. Deep 3 from...
Splash to put them within 1 point, and Callaghan takes the timeout. I think he wants to keep that momentum going, doesn't want to give Puyallup the chance to go down and score and take the momentum back.
Right, Puyallup's game is very fast-paced. They do like to get down the court when the defense is not ready.
Yeah, and SK can sometimes struggle with that fast pace, especially when Puyallup has that height.
We have a replay of Josh Potts shooting a 3 and Ante with the second chance bucket.
And here we have a great defensive effort by South. Oh, my bad. I misspoke. A three-pointer by the Vikings.
Here's this last bucket that Ante shoots with a man in his face from.
Yeah.
That's an NBA three-point line that he just shot.
Ante does not seem to really care whether or not there's a man on him. He'll put the ball up even if the man threads the needle through his arms.
But that's what just the type of shooters are. That's how, like Ante, he is a shooter, so it does not matter. If he sees a good shot and he thinks that he can make it, he'll take that shot 90% of the time.
Yeah, Ante loves to score points. He's definitely, although he plays great defense, he's definitely an offensive-minded player. He loves being the guy that goes out there and drops 20 and puts the team on his back. So it'll be interesting as we have about 5 minutes left in this game to see what Ante is able to do with that last 5 minutes.
Yeah, and just in general, I would. It's exciting to see who's going to step up in this such a close game right here, coming from both teams.
Yeah, all 5 of these guys have had performances that have helped their team win games this season. So it can really come down to anyone, and that's one of the great things about South is you never know who's going to step up to make that big play.
Colin, what do you think the key of this last 4 minutes of this game is going to be?
Rebound, rebound, rebound. You saw right there, Ante was able to get that rebound and set them up for offense. As Puyallup continues to miss their three-point shots, making sure they don't get those second chances is going to be big. Gavin Morcott's shot just doesn't fall. That shot would have given them the lead.
You know, Colin, I think SK has been playing a pretty great since the halftime.
Yeah. Sometimes
teams.
going down to the locker room, even though they came with the momentum at the end of that quarter, just being able to maintain it in the locker room is really important. And I think Callaghan does a great job of that, keeping his guys fired up, even in the locker room.
And, you know,
And a foul called.
that will put the Wolves in the bonus. Seems like the crowd is not very happy with that call, Colin.
Yeah, sometimes the crowd can't always see what the ref sees, and they do get upset about some calls. But the refs are human.
Hopefully our student section can make them miss one.
And even if they do make, there's the miss. If they make this, it'll be a 2-point game. SK could still get the lead with just one bucket. And the way Ante's shooting three-pointers right now, it's very likely.
Let's see if we can make them miss again. That is big. That is big.
And Donovan's able to secure the rebound. Down just 1 point with 3:45 remaining in the game. It's still anyone's game.
Oh.
Unfortunate turnover by the Wolves. And the
A
Vikings
steal
go
by
for an
Ante.
alley-oop. Kyler drives to the basket. He doesn't want anyone stopping him right now. You could have put a 50-foot boulder in front of him and that he wouldn't have been stopped.
He would have tried to run right through that thing.
And he probably would have.
Oh, another rebound by Ante. Ante has stepped up tremendously in this quarter on defense and offense.
Yeah, Ante's really just wanting to put the team on his back right now. With just 3 minutes and 17 seconds left in the game, it's anyone's game still. But SK has been able to get the lead with that play made by Kyler Kelso.
You know, Colin, if they can just hold on to this defense, this lead and play amazing defense like they have been playing lately, they could run away with this game.
Yeah, they just need to make sure to not give up any fast breaks. Fast breaks are really what's going to kill you in
And
this
most
game.
importantly, Colin, not foul because they are in the bonus and any foul will set them up for free throws.
Yeah. And another thing is just not letting Puyallup get hot on their three-pointers. We've been lucky with the amount of times they've missed, but and an unfortunate foul with an and-one shot.
He does have the opportunity to make this a three-point play, Colin.
Yeah, and that would put the Vikings up 2 points. The crowd has been able to get a few misses out of these guys. The last guy going 0 for 2. And bounced around, but he was able to make the basket. Josh Potts down there, the floor general, looking to get something going, pointing his guys around. Ante with the vision.
Oh, and what a rebound by Kyler Kelso.
And it just doesn't connect. And seems like some of South Kitsap players almost fought over the ball amongst themselves, which is unfortunate. But when you play as aggressively for the rebound as South Kitsap does, that's what's going to happen sometimes.
You know, sometimes it's a good thing, Colin, because that means you have multiple guys around the ball at all times.
Yeah, if two guys grab the ball at the same time, it's better than no one grabbing the ball. And look at Josh down there being able to avoid the screens. He's really slippery defender. You can't really. And a shot goes up. And a rebound is made and a bucket, making this a 4-point game. With just 2 minutes left in the game, the Vikings do call a timeout.
This is shaping up to be a pretty exciting finish, Colin.
Yeah, I think this is the senior night everyone was kind of hoping for.
And Colin, it's not very, there's something different about very defensive games compared to those high-scoring games.
Yeah, I think these games are a lot more intense. Maybe not as exciting to cheer for those missed three-pointers, but it can be really important. With just 2 minutes left in the game, down 4 points, whatever Callaghan is saying must be crucial in that huddle right there, don't you think?
Yes, Colin, I think it's very crucial because, Callaghan, with that 21 years of experience, has been in many situations like this. And I would really turn to him and look to him and listen to what he's saying because it's going to be crucial coming down to this stretch.
Yeah, just as a guy who's grown up watching SK basketball under Coach Callaghan my whole life, it's really just been really interesting to see how he's been able to coach and motivate these teams. It looks like South Kitsap will get the ball down just 4 points with 2 minutes left. The press has been led up by the Vikings still as they're tempting SK to try and put shots up potentially. However, that could come to bite them in the butt because they would be able to put shots up. Josh looks for an alley-oop to Gavin, but it does not connect. However, it looks like they might be giving the ball to South Kitsap. And yes, indeed, South Kitsap has got the ball. Donovan looks to pass it in and connects with Ante. Good ball movement right now. With just 1:30 left, they do need to start thinking about scoring, and they've held onto the ball a little long with 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Now just 5. A foul is called on the Puyallup Vikings. The ball is back on SK's sideline. However, the Vikings only have 4 fouls, so SK is still pretty far from those bonus free throws. And that's unfortunate. The Vikings will get the ball back, and Callaghan calls another timeout. Right now, I think the players just have to step up. In these kind of situations, being mentally tough is super important. If you're not mentally tough, you'll get down, but I don't think these guys will. You can see Callaghan on the bench right there with his clipboard out, getting ready to draw up a play. The big thing is just you can't be down 4 points at the end of the game because you won't be able to make a basket that'll put you back in this game. When you're down 4 points, there's not a lot you can do. The big thing right now is just going to be able to be getting a couple more points and stopping Puyallup. If Puyallup is able to get a few more baskets off, there's not going to be a lot SK can do. Another big key is going to not fouling. With 8 fouls already, just 2 more can put them in a double bonus, which allows Puyallup to shoot 2 free throws on any foul committed by South Kitsap. So Callaghan is really just going to take his time, explain everything to these guys, make sure they know the situations. At the end of the game, basketball is a situational game. You need to know how much time is on the clock, how much you're down by to be able to perform in these kind of situations. Looks like halftime is up, and the boys are back out on the court, getting ready for a big defensive stop here. It looks like SK is going to more of a press on defense. Let's see how that works out for them. They are looking for a steal because they just really can't afford to let the Vikings put any more points up on the board. Best case scenario, if they do score, would be a 2-point play. A 3-pointer will put them down 3 baskets, which with just a minute left is hard to come back from. With 10 on the shot clock, it does look like they're going to do their best to run out their clocks on each of their possessions. And Puyallup is able to get a shot off and a crucial rebound to put the ball back in the hoop. But SK is down 6, which is just 2 shots. So if they can make a 3-pointer right here, they'll be able to put themselves back in the game. They go low to Kyler Kelser, who does draw the foul. Kyler Kelso has been pretty good on the free throw shooting tonight. Let's see if he can put both of these in. If he can put both of these in, that does put his team within 4 points, which is just 2 two-pointers. And he makes the first one. He looks calm, cool, and collected out there. I don't think anyone's stopping him from making that shot. He goes for the second shot. And that one has made it all. At the end of the game, if you want someone on the line, I think it's got to be Kyler Kelso. Kyler's just been in that situation so many times, he knows what to do. Down 4 points, they are able to run the clock out. I'm not sure if SK knows that. And Callaghan yells for a foul as Josh puts his hands on the guy to stop the clock. Right now, basically all you can hope for is missed free throws. Being down 4 with just 20 seconds is a rough situation to be in. The crowd is going to do their best here to get in the head of that shooter. But he is able to hit that shot, putting SK down 5 points. The crowd again starts their chance to try and stop them, but to no avail. SK has to move really fast right now. They need to put up a couple three-pointers pretty quickly. A turnover here would be costly. Josh puts up a shot, and it just doesn't connect. Puyallup gets the ball back, and SK has to foul. With just 8 seconds left in this game, it doesn't look like it's going to go SK's way. It would probably take a miracle at this point. Number 24 for the Vikings has gone 0 for 2 on 2 separate occasions from the free throw line, though. So there is still a bit of hope. Let's see what he can do. And one miss. If he misses just one more shot, that will still make this a 2-shot game. With 8 seconds, it is possible if they can get a steal after that first three-pointer. The game isn't over yet, but if this free throw is made, it probably is. And as he sets up to take this last shot, the crowd does their best. But it is a making this a 3-score game with just 9.4 seconds. It's going to make this game very hard to come back from, and I'm not sure if it's really possible at this point. Puyallup gets the rebound. Donovan plays aggressive, but is not able to really do anything, and that is the end of the game. South Kitsap 37, Puyallup 44. It was a great game by South Kitsap. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get that win. The boys played great defense, but it was a very tough loss. In just a few moments, we're going to cut over to Deshaun with an exclusive interview with Coach Callaghan. But for now, I'm just going to kind of break down the game. It started off slow, 0-0 at the beginning of the game. It was pretty tough from the go-ahead. No one was really putting points on the board. And then throughout the second and third quarters, it really just went back and forth between both teams. South Kitsap was able to pull ahead right before halftime, but Puyallup was able to mount a comeback, and it was tied up 28-28 at the end of that third quarter. Unfortunately, I think the thing that cost South Kitsap this game was their foul situation. South Kitsap by the end of the half ended with 10 fouls, which is really crucial in a tight game like this because that means a lot of free throws. Free throws, if all 20 points could come out of those 10 free throws, that makes a big difference in this game. So I think if they were able to minimize the fouls, that would have been a big key in this game. And it looks like Coach Callaghan is down on the floor with Deshaun, so let's throw it down to them.
Thank you, Colin. Coach Callaghan, you know, obviously you've been in this type of situation a lot. So, you know, this doesn't mean that since you guys lost here, that doesn't mean that the season is over, right?
Oh, no. Yeah, we've already clinched a playoff spot. But those are the type of teams we're going to play in the playoffs. So that's a great matchup for us. We had our chances. We played pretty well. But yeah, that's a good team. So, yeah, that's good for us. And,
Coach Callaghan, with a win tomorrow, that secures the 4th seed, which is very important as well, right?
Right. Yeah, because 4 is automatically in. 5, you have to play a play-in game on Tuesday. So Yeah, tomorrow's it's gonna be a good one.
And I got one more question with you. So you've been here for a little bit and been through a couple senior nights, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So where does this senior night rank on the achievements that you've reached this year? Since this might be your last game?
These guys have been awesome all year, man. I mean, we have improved defensively really well. The offense is coming around. We lost our leading scorer and captain, early in the year, but our guys stuck with it, and I couldn't be more proud of them. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Coach Callaghan.
Right. Thanks, Deshaun.
And we're going to send it back up to Colin, guys.
Thanks, Deshaun, and special thanks to Coach Callaghan. Before we go, I also want to give a special thanks to the South Kitsap High School video production program. They do a great job putting on these broadcasts and making it possible for you to watch these games even when you're not here. I've been Colin Shoquist, and thank you guys for tuning into the game.